It's up to you, New York, New York.
Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on Facebook and YouTube. I am your host, Richie, here with my brother from another mother, Mr. Idris Salam, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx.
If you want to crown ass, crown ass. But the Bears are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook. Let's go. I just had to say that, man.
Let's go. Let's go. Before we decided to start this show, we were talking about some funny sound bites from coaches of yesteryear. That was the
Denny
impeccable late Denny Green, one of the really good guys in professional football. Rest in peace, Coach Green. Why are we here tonight? We're talking about day one of NFL free agency. Some big time names changing addresses.
Hey.
Yeah, exciting time for fans all over the country that love the NFL. Gonna start with a surprising one, Idris. How about Mike Evans going to the San Francisco 49ers?
I'm gonna lie, that one threw me for the loop. I was like, because I really thought he was coming back. I thought he's a Buccaneer for life. I'm
Yes, sir.
surprised.
Yes, indeed.
That's Baker's man. That's Baker's dude, man.
Yes, indeed.
Wow, you
That
took
was
away
shocking.
they just lost his man, his number one dude, man. Insane. I don't know.
The thing that really got me with this, Idris, was I understand that when you're at the table and you're looking to get a good contract and you've already proven your way in the league, as Mike Evans did. He's a future Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
Up until this current season, he had quite the streak going with consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. They did draft Emeka Egbuka, who is in his sophomore campaign in the NFL. Definitely a capable wide receiver. I believe Chris Godwin is still on the books with them.
Yeah, he is.
You have two pretty good running backs. But the thing is with this move for the team receiving the player, San Francisco, it's a good one because Mike Evans brings that stability that locker room and that wide receiving corps needs, because you have had so many issues with players on that particular team that have not been able to be on the field or don't want to be on the field. Of course, Pearsall with his off the field unfortunate situation when he was shot. You have Brandon Ayuk, who just really went off the deep end. Deebo Samuel, he was a Commander last year. You got an aging George Kittle. You have Mr. Everything in the backfield, Christian McCaffrey. Bringing in a player like a Mike Evans galvanizes whatever they're going to do at the 2 and 3 spots in that receiving pecking order. And there are some really good receivers in this draft, so I would not be surprised in the least if the San Francisco 49ers double up at the receiver position and add more talent for a player like a Mike Evans to help cultivate, because Mike Evans is a hell of a leader, and it is going to benefit the 49ers immensely having a guy like that in the locker room. Huge loss for Tampa Bay, no question about it.
Yeah. This is going to actually help CMC a lot
Oh
because
hell yeah!
now it's going to help CMC because Mike Evans is that guy where he can stretch the field, whatever. He's long, strong, he's physical. This is going to help CMC now because last year they didn't have anyone on the roster the caliber of Mike Evans, and they still
No
did
sir.
pretty damn good. They did pretty damn good. Now
Well, that's
Brock
a
Purdy,
credit to the coaching staff.
yeah,
Undeniably, bro. When you think about
oh,
what
what they
Kyle Shanahan was able to do last year, he did a lot with a little. Of course, current head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Robert Saleh, was running the defense. He had a hand in that as well.
the thing
Um,
about that also is, um, oh shoot, I lost my train of thought. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Yeah, and with the 49ers, you think about what they did, like you just said, and they were in the race until the final week.
yes, indeed, they were
They
playing for
could
the
have
one
won.
seed,
Yes,
which essentially would have kept them home for the
right.
Super Bowl. They ran the table because the Super Bowl was played in their stadium,
Yeah,
where their rivals, the Seattle Seahawks, won the Super Bowl. And who was the Super Bowl MVP, Mr. Idris? He ain't the guy. He ain't a guy that's on the team anymore, and that's
yeah,
wacky.
Kenny Walker, the Skywalker.
Yes, Kenneth Walker signs a deal with the Kansas City Chiefs, and this this I didn't see coming, and I'll tell you why.
No,
I really thought the Chiefs were a top candidate to draft Jeremiah Love at the University of Notre Dame. Now this sets their sights elsewhere. They're going to be possibly looking to add to the defense. Then
right.
again, with the troubles of Rashee Rice, maybe they go receiver. But this keeps their championship window open after an uncharacteristically poor season. Because I want to make one thing clear to the listeners and the viewers:
Mm-hmm.
the Kansas City Chiefs are still a quality football team,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
but they had a really rough go this year. I don't think their window is completely closed.
Too much going
You
on.
don't
It was
make three consecutive Super Bowls with essentially the same roster, you miss the playoffs. This team still has a little more to give. Travis Kelce, future Hall of Famer, coming back for a 14th campaign with the Chiefs as well.
yeah, and the thing about with Kenny Walker, he's their he's their number one back, which
Absolutely.
they never really had a number one back for quite a while. Kareem Hunt was
Not in the
gone,
Mahomes era.
not Mahomes era. So now they actually got a guy who can hit the hole and go. They got that guy. They had
They haven't
Edward
had this caliber of back since, you got to go back to like Jamal Charles,
Jamal Charles.
Priest
Yeah,
Holmes.
yeah. Jamal Charles was the last one. He was the last one, but injury took him down. But
Yes, indeed.
yeah, Jamal Charles, Texas, that boy was good. So I think this is a great signing for them. This is going to help Mahomes a lot because see now Mahomes he can actually do better play action, and he can sit in the pocket now because now they're gonna
Yeah,
man with this. I mean,
yeah. You have a guy that they have to account for constantly. I must admit, I understand that the team got sold not long after their Super Bowl triumph over New England, but I
yeah,
really thought that the Seattle Seahawks would have made a better effort because
yeah,
this isn't like a Larry Brown kind of situation.
no,
A random defensive guy winning a Super Bowl MVP. This is a star in the making, winning
right.
and balling out against a really good New England defense on the grand stage.
Yes, real good defense. And the thing about it with Larry Brown, he took the money and ran to where Kenny Walker that Seattle just like we're good.
We've seen it
We're good.
happen with a return specialist like a Desmond Howard, who was a very prolific college player. He
Mm-hmm.
won a Super Bowl with the Packers. He won the MVP with good
So
reason. The only other guy that could have been the MVP was the late great Reggie White. But the two
no,
touchdowns from
rephrase that.
Howard,
Rephrase that.
he deserved it.
Rephrase that. Desmond Howard won the Super Bowl. He didn't win
No,
it
he
with Green.
really did.
He
He
won
really
the
did
Super
because
Bowl. Yes.
what? Okay, let's I'll put it to you like this, bro. What
Yeah.
is the challenge for John Harbaugh coming to the New York Football Giants. He's trying to become the first coach in NFL history to win a Super Bowl as the head coach of two different organizations. The greatest coaches.
And one organization that, he wasn't the coach at the time, Brian Billick was, but he's coaching a team that the Ravens, won their first Super Bowl against.
It's pretty wacky when you think about it like that. And the reason I brought up Coach Harbaugh, of course, we're going to talk about the Giants, but I'm making an example here. You said Desmond Howard won that particular Super Bowl for the Green Bay Packers. You're 100% correct. Who did he beat? The Big Tuna, Bill Parcells.
Big Tuna.
Bill Parcells would have been the first coach in NFL history to achieve that feat of winning with two different teams as the main man. Yep. You think about all the great coaches in this league that have been to multiple Super Bowls with different teams but didn't get it done. Andy Reid. Dick Vermeil. Bill Belichick never even took another team to a Super Bowl. He was a coordinator for the Giants. Bill Parcells. So many decorated coaches that have not achieved that feat. And when you think about how long the NFL has been around, it's almost hard to believe.
You're talking 100+ years.
Sean Payton got close this year to having a chance to achieve that. He won with the Saints. He's got the Broncos close. So I would say Sean Payton in Denver, John Harbaugh in East Rutherford, New Jersey, coaching the Giants. Right now, those are the two. Those are the two that have the best chance in the foreseeable future. And how about our New York Football Giants today? Big day one in free agency. You bring back Jermaine Illuminor, who was a necessitable guy to bring back. Every free agency comes with losses. We're going to hit on them in a moment, but we bring back Jermaine Illuminor opposite of perennial All-Pro when healthy Andrew Thomas. Giants had their best season as a unit on the offensive line, their best season probably since 2012.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, on Sean Payton, Harbaugh, imagine if these two met in the Super Bowl. Denver would look.
That would be something. That truly would be something.
Yes.
I'll tell you what else would be pretty wacko.
Yeah.
Imagine if the two Harbaugh brothers met each other for a second time in the Super Bowl with two different teams.
Oh, man.
That would be pretty wacko.
That would be wild, dude.
But back to the Giants.
I want our Harbaugh.
Oh, absolutely. I'm stoked, dude. I'm stoked right now. New York Giants bring back Jermaine Illuminor, a guy that, I'll be honest, I thought we might have lost.
I did too.
We lost Wan'Dale Robinson as well as Daniel Bellinger to the Tennessee Titans. Makes a lot of sense. Brian Dable runs the offense there. I wish both of them well.
Yeah,
I believe that this opens up the door for the Giants, in addition to being a candidate for possibly Carnell Tate, possibly Jordan Tyson with that 5 pick, or even trade back and maybe get one of them. Also a name to keep your ears on, your eyes on. Louis Bond out of Boston College fits the mold of a player similar to a Wan'Dale Robinson. I wish Wan'Dale well.
I do too.
I think he's going to do just fine. Cam Ward got himself 2 ball players. Daniel Bellinger is a good tight end, but he has not been the same since the 2022 eye injury, which we were in the house to see in Jacksonville.
Yeah. I wish we could have kept him. Hey, news just come in. It might have been out already. Tua Tagovailoa signed a 1-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, indeed. I did mention it earlier. I did some shorts earlier. Going to hit on him too. New York Giants. Okay, so Illuminor's back. Good job, G-Men. Unfortunately, we also lose Cordell Flott. That's a frustrating one. I wish him well. I think he's going to do some good things. You can't keep everybody. But the Giants are in a position to upgrade the cornerback position. We got a lot better today in our middle of the defense, as well as a guy who can help out the secondary. I'm talking about Tremaine Edmonds, former Bear. This is a dude, Idris. There's only two people in NFL history since
Mhm.
2000, since the
Recent,
turn of the century,
recent,
that have 900 tackles and 50 passes defense. The other guy's a Hall of Famer, and his name is Luke Kuechly.
right? Former Carolina Panther.
Yes, indeed. Recent Hall of Fame inductee on this most recent class. So now
Mhm.
you have Tremaine Edmonds replacing Bobby Okereke. Giants run a 3-4. You're
Mhm.
probably in a position to bring in one of these stud linebackers in this draft, possibly a Sonny Styles at 5, assuming he's
Ah,
still there. Maybe an Arvell Reese, unless if the Jets scoop him up at 2. David Bailey's an edge man. He also has to be accounted for as a player that the Jets could draft. This is a
But
quality signing.
it just picked up Mika Fitzpatrick too. So
Yes,
um,
indeed.
yeah,
MetLife Minka.
they let. Oh, about Wandale Robinson, I can see why he went to Tennessee. He's from Kentucky. He played at Kentucky, so
Yes,
he's
he
close to
did.
the home. He's
Yes,
close to
he
the home.
did.
So, like you said, I wish him luck because I liked him. I
And
really
he's got a
did.
familiarity with Brian Dable. No question
Yeah,
about it. They made the
yeah.
playoffs together in 22 in that magical season.
And the same with
Um,
Flat from that area also. So
yes, indeed. And,
you know,
and, and I also believe that they're going to be releasing L'Jarius Sneed. So the need to bring in a guy like a Cordell Flott makes sense. I
yeah,
would absolutely love if the price is right, if the Giants kick the tires on the Jarius Sneed. Shouts out Sylvia Sneed, his auntie
yeah,
from the NFC Beast.
yes, sir. You know, I wouldn't mind having Snead veteran presence back there, man, champion everything. So get him on the cheap or whatever. He'll be a good presence back there for whoever
I
we
also
bring in.
wouldn't be mind blown if he goes back to Kansas City for the right price because he never really wanted to leave.
They wanted to leave.
But I
I
can't
don't think
fault
they
the man
wanted.
for getting. I can't
You
fault
know,
him for getting his bread. But no, I don't think he goes back to Kansas City. But L'Jarius Sneed has been rumored as a player that could potentially be a casualty of the finances. We shall see. Keeping it on the New York Giants. New York
mhm.
Giants go to Baltimore for 2 players. We get
Hey,
their punter as well as their tight end. I'm more stoked, obviously, about the tight end because I don't want to be punted too often. But how
nah,
about Isaiah Likely, Idris Love? Isaiah Likely, a guy that needed to get away from Baltimore for a different opportunity to be the main man. Of course, he's backing up a future Hall of Famer in Baltimore, Mark
mhm,
Andrews. Now he comes to the Big Apple, follows Coach Harbaugh. This is a guy that can hit the seam route. This is a guy that's a good blocker. This is a guy
right,
that has pretty good speed for a big man. This is a
right.
guy that is not
Athletic,
bad. Yes,
very
athletic
athletic.
indeed.
Yeah,
Very good on the route tree. This is a player that I look at it. He's going to have a career year similar to what Martellus Bennett did his 1 year
yeah.
with Big Blue. This is the most talented tight end we've had since Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram, but I will put him above Ingram, because Likely can block. He can
Oh,
block.
I am stoked about this. This was a quality pickup, truly a
Dude,
quality pickup and a good price, all things considered.
when you told me today we got eyes, you heard my reaction. I was like, what?
Yeah, you were
I
fired
was
up.
I was I was like, are you serious? Isaiah Likely, we got him young. I, hey, he's gonna eat this shit. He's
Yeah,
gonna eat.
I'm gonna direct it to fantasy football immediate. I
Oh
expect
yes, sir.
Isaiah Likely to be possibly a top 5 tight end, but no worse than top 10. Zappy, I
Yeah,
spoke to him on the phone. He asked me to drop him an invite. I know he's
yeah.
busy, but we did get to talking. Zappy, I'm gonna quote him. I'm
Hmm.
gonna quote Zappy. He said, "Your guys right now, and we haven't even drafted yet. I'm expecting the New York Giants to have a chance to win 10 or more games this year."
Yeah, and you know what? Coaching means everything,
Damn
and we
right it
got a coach
does.
that knows how to win, and we can see now. We see now what he's building. He's building. People say no, he's building Baltimore Ravens. No, he's building New York Giants football.
And why? But this league is all about relationships.
Right.
Your cousin Aaron Moorhead, who coaches with the Philadelphia Eagles, alluded to this. when we had him on the show,
Mhm.
how you have coaching relationships. He of course has a history with Harbaugh going back to Stanford. You look at
Right.
our most recent fired head coach. You take a guy like a Brian Dable, bringing in some
Mhm.
of his cavalry, guys like Bellinger, because these were suggested names with
Yeah.
Dable. Because I think even though Salah's the main man, I think there's a
Mhm.
mutual respect there because these are two guys that had a lot of potential that
Yeah.
didn't work in the same stadium in New York. But these are two guys that have a mutual respect for each other. Dable, who's quarterback whisperer image, I don't think necessarily takes a horrible hit because Jackson Dart did rather well underneath him.
Yeah.
And you take a guy like a Robert Saleh, he gets the short hairs, in my opinion, which was sabotaged by Aaron Rodgers and Woody Johnson with the Jets.
Yeah.
Look out for the Tennessee Titans to be a lot more competitive this year. I think Cam Ward, similar to what
Yeah.
we saw happen with Caleb Williams, is going to take a
Yeah.
significant step in year 2.
Because he has, because with Bellinger and not Flat, Wandell,
Wandell Robinson. Yes, sir.
that's gonna be nice because Dable, he wasn't a good head coach, but we seen what he did in his first year. And I think with his second year he got away from what got him successful in his
He
first year.
still works well with young quarterbacks because
Yes.
listen, people could talk about the plight of Daniel Jones in New York. I will not blame that completely on him. He did good with Daniel in 22. Daniel tore his knee, and then the end was kind of grim for him with New York. I don't like the way that they did Daniel Jones. Not saying
Right.
he was the guy, he deserved a little better. Speaking of those Colts, they're bringing back wide receiver Alec Pierce.
That was good.
Good player, an emerging star, another Cincinnati dude,
Yep.
emerging. Travis Kelce, the future Hall of Famer, taking note of him, as well as his teammate Sauce
Yeah.
Gardner in
Yep.
Indy, another Cincinnati man. Indianapolis Colts are going to be in a position to rewrite what should have been a playoff berth last year before the unfortunate injury to Danny Dimes. I like them bringing him back. You mentioned Tua Tagovailoa, Idris. You have been very, very opinionated on Michael Penix and why you don't like it. I'm going to keep it a buck. Zappy said it too. He hates Tua and Penix combined as your quarterback room. I love Arthur Blank, but I don't know what the hell the Atlanta Falcons are doing.
I don't either because one can't take a headshot, one can't take a leg shot.
Big facts. Big
You
facts.
you got Kirk Cousins there. True, he's 30-something years old. He's past front, but Kirk Cousins can man the team until you bring a quarterback on.
Yeah, I don't understand what the hell they're doing. Kirk may very well find himself in a Jet uniform. I don't know where Kirk's going, but Kirk's going to find a place.
Yeah, he's gonna find a home. You got it. You have to do something now because you just signed Tua, and you got
They
Penix on a big
franchise
contract.
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
They have the young lion and Bijan Robinson, who is a bona fide superstar in the making, but you don't want to ruin him.
Richie, they franchise Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I know.
Did you?
I know. Shouts out to Kyle Pitts for one thing, though.
Yeah.
Non-football related, bigger level stuff for calling out people that were only somber in image, but not in the physical. I'm sorry, I don't know all the specifics of the kind of impact Rondell Moore, late rest in peace, had on people. But if what Kyle Pitts said is true, to all those who played with him, I'm sorry. That's pathetic.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad he called him out, man. Shouts out. My thing with Kyle Pitts is on, of course, is on the field. He catches the ball when he feels like catching the ball.
For sure.
Yeah,
we keep it in on football. But because the name got linked to that too, and he might be pissed that he got franchised, so he might be a little more motivated to talk some shit.
But he was on point. But I don't know what they're doing in. I don't know what they're doing in Atlanta.
I mean, Michael Penix was a terrible pick from jump, and it's not so much that I have anything against the young man. I will say this: I'm discriminatory to left-handed quarterbacks. Everybody knows that listens to my show, because
Most
Only
are.
one left-handed quarterback has been at the top of the mountain. His name is Steve Young.
Yeah.
And I was a huge fan of Mark Brunell, a guy that I think was good enough to lead a team to a Super Bowl, and he did get awfully close.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, you know, where are the best tackles predominantly? On the left side, Idris, not on the right side. So you're already kind of,
hmm
your blind side is the second best tackle. That don't help a lot.
And now you
Michael
got
Vick
two
was a
left
good lefty. His peak was short because of his off the field issues with the dog ring. Michael
Mhm.
Vick had the ability to be a generational talent.
But you know the thing about Atlanta, now you have two left-handed quarterbacks.
Yes,
Like,
indeed.
like, are you serious? I don't know
It's
what
weird, bro.
Atlanta is.
I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback room at the pro level that had two left-handed quarterbacks.
I've never seen that before. Because
Nah,
you don't
bro.
see
That's like
that.
that's
You
like
don't
our
see that
Yankees with all these left-handed catchers.
like because you don't you rarely see left-handed quarter. You might see two or three left-handed quarterbacks in the league at one time. You hardly
Right,
see left.
right.
But I don't know what Atlanta. What are you thinking? You have a
No, it's crazy
quarterback.
work, bro. It really
You have a
is.
quarterback right now, Michael Penix, and like we all said, bad pick. And there's nothing against Michael Penix. He's a good guy.
They
But
should have
when
got
you
Jared
have
Verse, period. That was the player to
yeah,
take there, Jared Verse.
that's what should have got. I'm like, this guy has a bad injury history. Two
Yes,
knee
indeed.
surgeries, two
Yes,
shoulder
indeed.
surgeries.
Mhm.
You draft him. You got Kirk Cousins. You brought him in to be the number one guy. You draft this guy,
And paid
and
him
now
very handsomely. Made
you
him a
paid
hundred
him
dollar man.
crazy. That's why
$100 million man.
I'm not mad at Kirk Cousins getting the money. It ain't his fault.
No.
You know, it
If
ain't his fault.
somebody's dumb enough to give him that contract, more power to him.
Yeah, more power to it. And then you bring in Tua, who you can't let get hit. You can't. You have to. Now you have to draft right tackles and right guards, and those are not.
Idris, this is a bona fide shit show in the making in Atlanta. Bijan Robinson, as soon as that rookie contract's up, I am going to call it
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Unless if they make him like a ridiculously rich man, like
Nah,
the Eagles did with Saquon, Bijan going to find somewhere else to play.
I think. I think he's out. I think he's out.
It's crazy that
I
the
think Chris
kid is so
Algier
young
too.
and we're already talking about him dipping out.
I think Chris Algiers too. I think as soon as Algiers get a chance, he's out too.
Another thing I wanted to mention, this is not new news. This was one of the first stories to break. Of course, Max Crosby getting traded
Yeah.
to the Baltimore Ravens. They have a new coach in the house, Jesse Minter, very beautiful defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
But Jamar Chase wants scorched earth. Now, why would he go to scorched earth? You got a guy, they're not going to be able to keep their premier edge rusher, Trey Hendrickson. Rumors are linked to the Dallas Cowboys as well as the Indianapolis Colts. But they paid Higgins, they paid Burrow, they paid Chase. And this is the humor and the irony of it. Chase is going scorched earth. How could you
Right.
let him come to our division? We already got to deal with Myles Garrett. We got to deal with TJ Watt.
Right.
But, bro, when I saw it, I'm like, this is what happens when two receivers and a quarterback make up the whole payroll.
Right. You don't. I don't. I don't know a time in history where that happened. Dallas had Irving and Taylor. I mean Irving and Harper.
And Harper,
But they
yes.
never.
Taylor was
Yeah, but
opposite
they
of
never,
Rice and the rivals.
right. And even with that, even with Taylor and Rice, they didn't pay Aikman, Irving, and Harper as the three guys. San Francisco didn't pay Rice.
And that
What's
was
it
an
called?
era where the running backs ruled the roost, where
Yeah.
Emmett held out. We know how that played out. This
Right.
was the era where running backs ruled the NFL. I mean, recently, with guys like Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh
Mhm.
Jacobs, to name a few, empowering the running back market again, bringing back money and respectability to the running back market again. And it's funny, once again, shouting out Aaron Moorhead, because going back to when Saquon was still a member of our team, Aaron flat out said they'll figure it out. So even though Aaron has the pleasure of rubbing elbows with a future Hall of Famer, even Aaron thought that the Giants would have figured it out. Giants got lucky. They got Scat. They got Tracy. Jeremiah Love is not off the table. But the point I'm making is the running backs are coming back ever so gradually.
Yeah. So the running back is going
But
to protect the quarterback because you get the ball. If you keep dropping back, people figure it out. So the running back is going to protect the quarterback because you give him the ball, pound, 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 and you throw it. Yeah. The running back renaissance is
their market is getting a little more value. And I said it to you on a previous show in reference to a team like the Giants, who of course drafted Saquon Barkley really early, where a lot of
mhm.
people feel that they could have got an awesome guard like a Quentin Nelson, who it's not a value pick normally for a guard, but Quentin Nelson is a generational talent for what he does. And
You
maybe
know
he
who
could
I
have got
wanted
like a
in that?
guy like a Nick Chubb.
I was going to say, you know who I wanted that draft? I actually wanted Nick Chubb or Bradley Chubb. That's who I
Yes,
wanted.
indeed. And it's funny because we talked about the Josh Allen thing. Giants could have had Josh Allen. They could have had the white one and the black one.
Right,
Instead,
too.
they got nobody. They ended up getting Will Hernandez, who I don't even know if he's still in the friggin' league, and they got Danny Dimes. And listen, I'm not trying to shit on Danny Dimes. I'm happy for his recent success,
Yeah,
but that wasn't the pick there either. It was a
right.
weird quarterback class. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins. He was one of the guys that you could have got. It wasn't the year to do that.
It's like this year.
Yeah,
The quarterback
we could
class
have
is
had
not
Josh
going well.
Allen in consecutive years. White Josh
Yeah,
Allen and
right,
white
Josh.
Josh Allen. White Josh Allen one year, black Josh Allen the next year. They could have been the two picks that we had.
That's
Different
wild, though.
regime, different times. Different
Yeah, that's
regime,
wild.
different times. It is
Yeah,
wild, but
yeah, but you know
not
when
quite
we
as terrible as taking Eli Apple in round one, acting like he was going to be Darrell Revis or somebody, or taking
oh
good God, taking Eric Flowers. We've had some bad ones.
when black Josh Allen sacked white Josh Allen, I said that was supposed to happen.
Yeah, they should have both been Giants.
That was
It
supposed to
should
happen.
have only happened in non-contact drills instead it happened for
Right.
real.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. It's non-contact drill. So yeah, you know, and I don't want to sound homer because we're not homers really. People listening to us, watching us, we are
But
not
we
giant.
are a little more excited than usual.
We are more excited than usual because of what we got. Today is Big Blue Monday for us. Um, I like what Harbaugh is doing. I see what
Absolutely.
he's doing. I see what he's doing, and I like that he said he reports directly to the owner. Because I like that because it's accountability there.
It's a
There's
power that
nobody
hasn't been granted since the days of like a Bill Parcells, who was a master general in the war room.
right, and I like it, and I like what he's putting together. I could see, and I tell people from Baltimore, 'cause I heard you Baltimore, oh, he's trying to build a new ball team. No, as I said at the top of the show, no, he's bringing back New York Giants football.
Yeah,
That's what he's
and
doing. Physical football.
emulating
That's
the Ravens wouldn't be the worst thing because at the end of the
no,
day, he was
no, it
there
wouldn't be the rest.
18 years and he had 15 winning
Yeah.
seasons.
But I had to let them know he's not building the Ravens. He's building New York Giants football. That's
This
these are the teams that we won with,
This
physical teams.
league is predicated and built roster building off of previous relationships, just like any other profession.
All right on.
And we see it all the time. And it even goes back to college where you're
Mhm.
seeing more and more where certain GMs are trying to keep players on certain units that have a rapport with each other. You see it at
Right.
Cincinnati. We've seen it with the Philadelphia Eagles where they frequent particular strong colleges because the Eagles do have a hell of a defense, regardless of what happened on the other side of the ball this year. So, you do see it frequently in today's NFL.
Right on.
But this is an exciting time, man. Now we're going to talk about teams. You lose players. So what's next? Okay, so you look at a team like the Seattle Seahawks. They lose the Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker. He's now a member of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mhm.
Um, Zach Charbonnet coming off a significant injury. They did the two-back deal. One would
Yeah.
think, one would think that this particular team is going to have to go out and get another running back.
Yeah.
Are they in a position to draft at the top end of the running back list in college, or are they going to try to get a value pick mid-round? The point is, they're going to have to add to that running back stable now when you lose Walker. It speaks volumes on what they think of Charbonnet. And I personally think Zach Charbonnet is certainly capable of getting the job done but he's coming off an injury similar to our man Scat, which is why I'm not ruling out the potential of bringing
Mhm.
back Jeremiah Love. I know that Giant fans are looking at it like, oh, they restructured Singletary. We're not going to draft a running back. Not necessarily. Singletary could still be a cut candidate, or Tyrone Tracy, even though it might not be the
Right.
most popular thing, could be a trade
Right.
candidate.
Yeah.
If you get a Jeremiah Love and a Cam Scatterbo, you basically have the East Coast version of Sonic and Knuckles.
Basically. Yeah.
And
And
speaking of those guys, they're going to have to figure it out too. Is Gibbs going to be the workhorse all the way, or are they going to look for some value? Detroit Lions, of course, adding to that. So, this is like life after losing a star or trading a star.
yeah, Detroit's going to have to draft another one because we know Gibbs he's going to be the feature back, but you still got to have someone to back him up. And as for
Absolutely.
Scat and Jeremiah, I think that's a good 1-2 punch. And, you keep either Tracy or you keep Singletary, one or the other.
Yeah,
Because you
Tracy obviously has more upside than Singletary. We talked about it on the show recently,
much
but
younger.
it depends on what the Giants do. The Giants are in a position where they can go secondary, they can trade back and still help the secondary. They can stay right where they are and maybe land one of those two ferocious linebackers.
Yeah,
Giants are definitely in a position to go a lot of different ways. And of course, you're going to be fielding offers and you're going to be looking to see if you can really do something special. Some rumors coming out of Philly are that A.J. Brown may indeed be a trade candidate. And it seems like the New England Patriots keep popping up as the team that could potentially be his new destination. What are your thoughts on that?
Whew. I don't know, man. AJ Brown is good. He's
Yes,
a
he is. And
hell.
it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade over Diggs. And Diggs is coming off a good year, but it's an upgrade over Diggs.
They cut Diggs, so he's out.
Yeah, he
Um,
had to be with all the stuff looming
yeah,
right now.
yeah. He's a knucklehead, man. Um,
Indeed.
and AJ Brown's problem is he wants the ball regardless if they win or lose. He wants the ball, which I
Hmm.
don't think that's a team thing. As long as you
Not at all.
win, should be it. But see, he's not content with that, and I think that could be a problem with him paired up with a quarterback like um Drake May, because that'll force Drake May to have to get him the ball, and that's where problems happen because it happened in Buffalo when Diggs was there and Allen was throwing to him.
And
You
one
know,
thing that I think we could agree on is that Mike Vrabel is a zero tolerance kind of coach. Now, he
yeah,
was able to reel in Diggs for the betterment of the team. Diggs did not get off to a good Patriot start or a good Patriot end. It was only one season, but of course, the stuff with the Instagram models on the boat, and
yeah,
then with the paraphernalia, and then end of the year, he's looking at a legal situation regarding a chef accusing him, a live-in chef, I believe, accusing
yeah,
him of act of violence, choking her. Innocent until proven guilty. I want to reiterate that.
oh yeah,
But no team wants this kind of circus because it brings
no,
back the heebie-jeebies of like what happened with the late Aaron Hernandez finding out that your alpha dog tight end opposite of Gronk. They were both alpha dogs. Hernandez was actually the first to get paid, so that speaks on
yeah.
how great he is. Because some people think Gronkowski might be the greatest tight end ever. So
Hernandez he would have been top 5 had he not have gotten that nonsense.
no,
Hernandez,
absolutely. If Hernandez could have left that life and
yeah,
dealt with his mental issues, he's a victim, and he has victims too. It's unfortunate on so many levels because he hurt a lot of people, but he also was hurt. So it's a very unfortunate situation. No winners in that situation. A lot of pain in that situation. But the New England Patriots do not want to relive anything that even remotely reminds them of that.
remember they had
And
Antonio Brown, same thing. You know,
yes,
nothing.
indeed.
They don't want them. I mean, you had Aaron Hernandez, uh,
Josh Gordon's another guy. Josh Gordon is the least. Man, Josh
yeah,
Gordon just like similar to Ricky Williams, man. He just about to smoke his weed.
yeah. Josh Gordon was another. I think he was different because he wouldn't hurt nobody just violating the policy, which I think was a stupid policy.
I
Yeah,
tend to agree because when you think about all the addiction issues that the NFL had with pain meds and all that other shit, like, and you're
alcohol.
looking at, yeah, right, right. You look at the DUIs flying off the handle and the bad driving situations going on in the NFL. Like character things when it comes to this NFL draft screening, even if you're not like a bad person, so to speak, like they even look at driving records because you see the ridiculous stuff that went down with
Yeah.
Rasheed Rice. Then you
Right.
find out about an unfortunate thing like a Kyron Lacey, former LSU Tiger,
Mm.
who actually it was fabricated his involvement in something that ultimately he took his life for. So mental health, is a big thing that's coming to the forefront of the NFL right now, and it's a thing that a lot of people do not feel that the NFL is nurturing properly, and it goes back to a bigger problem about these players being treated like cattle. And what does the NFL stand for? Not for long.
Right.
So there's a lot of ways to look at it. Today's a happy day. We love football, but I try to keep it centered. How would I say? Honestly and fairly. Like there's a lot of ugly that goes on in this sport that we love.
It is. It is. It pretty much is, man. Um, I don't know, man. It's just yeah, it's just bad, man. I think with AJ Brown, um, I think if he does go there, I think Mike Gray will sit him down like, hey, look, we are here to win. There are no
Yes,
stars on this team, and that's been the Patriot way. Even though Tom Brady was the star, but they played like we are here to win
the
together.
one year where the stars really shined and it was a little against the Patriot grain, you go back to
Hmm.
Moss and Brady's
Yeah,
phenomenal first year in New England, '07.
yeah, when
They
we took
broke
them
all the
out.
records, and even Moss, was set up to be the hero of the Super Bowl as he scored
Yeah,
the go-ahead touchdown. It was a historical year
yeah, but we
as Tom
spoiled.
Brady shattered the touchdown passing record, the passing yards record, and of course Randy Moss shattering total touchdowns in the season, which was previously held by Jerry Rice, the receiver that he's most compared to.
Yeah, but we
So,
spoiled.
yeah, we did. Um,
I just wanted to say that we spoiled it though.
yeah, we did. Another thing too, Tyler Linderbaum, a guy that a lot of people felt would have landed on the Giants, he signs a historic deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders, by trading Crosby and by setting up some things right now are in a position because they got the first pick and I think the 15th pick and they got a first rounder next year. They have a ton of money to spend. If the Raiders do things properly, they are
Mhm.
most definitely in a position to get back to winning within the next few years.
Yeah, I think with Tom Brady in charge now, well, not in charge, but in the room,
With
he
definitely a strong influence.
yeah, I think he's because I think he's gonna be like, hey, because I saw what he said how the Patriots wanted Max Crosby, and he was saying he was not going to trade Max Crosby to New England, which I was like, that's true. Get him out of here. He's like,
Another
no,
thing too. Another thing too. Dallas Cowboys acquiring a pretty good player here. And this is an interesting thing. So they got Kenny Clark in exchange for Micah Parsons and the draft picks
yeah,
to begin the season that just ended. Now you add Rashawn Gary, who the
yeah,
Green Bay Packers parted with for a fourth rounder. You
hmm
got a new defensive mind in the building. Suddenly, the Dallas Cowboys are looking a lot better on that side of the ball. And this is pre draft. I would have to think that the Dallas Cowboys could potentially be in play for a Caleb Downs, potentially a Mansour Delane. They could approach the G-men. This was Zappy speaking. They offer us 12 and 20 for 5 at minimum. You got to think about it.
hmm
Um, Interdivision trade, which is a little rare, but it happens. I mean, it's an interesting. This is a very interesting draft because this draft coming up, you have such depth on the
yeah,
defensive side of the ball. I'm talking about all the positions. Like you have so much depth versus previous years where it's like this is like just a star-studded defensive draft. Whereas in previous years it was about receivers or about the quarterbacks. This is really about the defense this year. You got some studs coming out of college right now.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think this is a defensive draft, and I said, and not trying to get it back to the Giants. I like our position at 5 because, see, like I said, we don't need a quarterback, you know, and I don't see anyone really trying to go after a running back so early because the Jets need a quarterback, the Raiders need a quarterback, you know. So I
Yeah,
think we're in.
I think the Giants are in a position to either get one of these two receivers or get Jeremiah Love if
Yeah,
that's what they want to do. Because with the Saints signing Travis Etienne today, former Jacksonville Jaguar,
that
um,
surprise.
I was a little surprised too because I was looking at teams that were like literally in on Love or potentially in on Love in a lot of these mocks. Obviously, the Chiefs made sense until they got Kenneth Walker. Obviously, the Saints made sense until they got ATN. So those are the two biggest names at the running back free agency totem pole. So who wants Jeremiah Love? I mean, is it going to be somebody that we don't see coming? I'll tell you a team that you might not see coming, even though
Hmm.
they do need help on the defensive side of the ball. Can
Hmm.
you imagine the Cincinnati Bengals if they had the audacity to go draft Love, putting him with Chase Higgins, and they already got Brown as the other back? Of course, Joe Burrow's top 5, top 6 quarterback in the league. That's a setup that could look like the Ohio triplets.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't think. I think Cincinnati needs to draft offensive line because
Either offensive line or you got to do something on the defensive side of the ball.
yeah,
You got
because
to get a
yeah, yeah,
serious
'cause defense.
playmaker, and especially since you're going to lose Hendrickson to Indy, Dallas, but or somebody. You're going to lose him to somebody.
Yeah, because that either way, offensive line or defense, because both are horrible. But you gotta protect your quarterback. You have to protect. You cannot win without your quarterback on the field. And they haven't
I
protected
couldn't
this.
agree more.
Since they
I
drafted.
really couldn't agree more. And speaking of more, DJ
Oh
Moore,
yeah, DJ
he's
Moore.
a Buffalo Bill now.
That was
I think Josh Allen has to be a very happy dude because this is a guy that he wasn't getting pushed out necessarily because of lack of production. It's
right.
more of a money move. And
Yeah.
also, the ascension of Roma Dunze, who was coming off a pretty good year as he
Mhm.
was kind of like overshadowed by a guy like a Malik Neighbors coming out of college. This is a really good receiver in a Dunze. So, it opens up DJ Moore, but DJ Moore, flair for the dramatic, definitely has the ability to be that dude in Buffalo. And when you have a guy like Josh Allen, I think he's going to supersede what Stephon Diggs did there. And it's not even going to be close. I think DJ Moore is going to have a blow up kind of year.
Hold up, man. DJ Moore traded to Kansas City.
Say what?
Yep. Yep. Buffalo traded DJ Moore to KC.
No way.
Yeah. 2026 second round pick and a 2026 fifth round pick.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
It just literally just popped up. Yep. I'm like, yeah, it literally just when you said it literally just popped up on my thing. Let me make sure that's not a misprint because I don't understand why they would do that. Let me see, DJ Moore. Um, okay, something's not right. DJ Moore gives that must be a misprint because they're not saying it anywhere else. That must be a misprint. Somebody uploaded the wrong thing because it still says DJ Moore in Buffalo. Yeah, that had to be a misprint. Somebody needs to be fired. Somebody need to be fired because everything else is saying he's a Buffalo Bill. Yeah, I think that was a misprint. Who the hell put that up there anyway? Let me see.
Yeah, I think somebody's trolling on that one.
Yeah,
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 my apologies. I actually stepped away without realizing I was talking, but I did look at a couple of different sites and just specifically, uh, yeah, I can't imagine a world where the Buffalo Bills would do business with the Chiefs right now.
yeah. Chiefs got to. They have to do some traded Trent I'm trying to think of his father, OJ McDuffie. Trent McDuffie to Los Angeles. Um, I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, well,
another huge pickup, with the Seahawks winning the Super Bowl, but losing Walker. You got the 49ers who got stronger today.
Yeah, Rashid Shaheed re-signed with the Seahawks.
That was a good
Michael
one.
Pittman, Michael Pittman to Pittsburgh.
That's a good pickup too. And
That's good.
I mentioned this to Brett off air. Brett was
Mhm.
arguing with me. He has a propensity for doing that.
But
Uh,
you know,
I told him, I said, I understand that Kyler Murray could start somewhere.
Mhm.
However, if he's willing to go to Pittsburgh, and even if McCarthy naturally Rodgers is his favorite because of previous history, and Rodgers is a future Hall of Famer, even though he's a dinosaur, if you bring Kyler Murray into the Pittsburgh Steelers, you could set him up for certain packages similar to how they had Russell Wilson and Justin
Yep.
Fields sharing quarterback duties during games where they both played.
Yep.
Um, I believe that if you're Kyler Murray and you want to get your career back on track the right way, Pittsburgh, even if you have to take a step back and sit behind Aaron Rodgers for 1 year, because Rodgers really doesn't have that much time left, I
Yeah,
don't think
one
it's a
year.
bad deal. I don't
I
think it's
don't
a
need it.
bad deal because in time you're going to be the starter, especially if you put the time into your craft. I would like to think that at Rodgers' age, he would be willing to play also a mentor role. I would like to think that with young
I think
Kyler
I think
Murray, he's still young.
I think he would because he's at the end of his career. Because when they wanted him to mentor Love. He was still at the top of his game.
And
You
it's
know.
very rare that this is a rare situation where you bring in a guy that is as old as Rodgers, that a
Yeah.
particular coach wanted him, that was Tomlin, where he comes back for a different coach. And it's because a very rare scenario, because there are some links. You know, Mike McCarthy is a Pittsburgh guy. That was like his dream job. And Mike McCarthy, you talk about rare. How rare is it that you could coach three of the most iconic organizations in the history of the
Right.
sport? You got Dallas, Green Bay, and now Pittsburgh.
He's out Pittsburgh, and he's
That is,
coaching two of the oldest, Pittsburgh and Green Bay.
and
You know.
and it's funny. So you know how you said how Coach Harbaugh,
Yeah.
he wasn't coaching the Ravens, but his previous team did beat the Giants, that first Super Bowl. Of course, it wasn't his team. He beat his brother, the 49ers, da da da. But now
Right.
you're talking about Mike McCarthy, who
Mhm.
oddly enough beat the Steelers for his lone Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. It's funny how things change, because if my late father was a diehard Packer fan, and if somebody would
Yeah.
have told my dad that Aaron Rodgers in the year 2026 would be quarterbacking the Pittsburgh Steelers, if somebody would have said that to him
Yeah.
after they won the Super Bowl in early 2011, my dad would have been like, "Fuck off, no way."
You told me that, I'd be like, nah, you lying. There ain't no way. I wouldn't. What the thing about it? Um, I wouldn't even have thought Rogers would even leave Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying?
Or if
So
somebody would have told me that like Brett Favre one day would have been a Viking or a Jet, especially a Viking. I'm like, what? But if Rodgers if Minnesota would have had reciprocal interest in Rodgers last year, which kind of surprised me that they didn't, but if they would
yeah.
have had reciprocal interest in Rodgers,
Hmm.
I would have been mind blown. That he did the full Favre, with the
Yeah.
exception of starting in Atlanta, but like the full Favre he would have done. The Packers, the Jets, the Vikings.
Yeah.
It's just funny how much the league evolves, how much the league changes. History does have a reputation for being cyclical and repeating itself. But yeah, the winners today, without a doubt, I think the Tennessee Titans did good, bringing in logical people. Bellinger, Robinson, very logical. And Flat is there as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so three Giants all go to Tennessee today. Then you have also former Giant Dane Belton, low level move. This is not like earth shattering news, but he is a Jet.
Yeah.
Jets
He was
obviously
he wanted to stay
once
in
a
New York anyway. Cause I remember he was saying how he loved New York and he didn't want to leave. So I think that was a New York thing. He didn't want to leave New York. You know.
yeah, I tend to
And
agree. It's a modest deal. I think it's like I don't know if it's 1 year, 2 years, but I think he's making 4 mil a season. So
yeah, 20.
that's a lot of money, but in the NFL that ain't shit. So it's like small deal.
Yeah.
But I believe the Jets are at the bottom looking to come up. So they're just trying to get back to respectability. They're trying to fix a defense that once upon a time was really, really legit.
Mhm.
This has nothing to do with football, but something I noticed. I am literally sitting in my driveway. Shouts out to whoever power washed my neighbor's house. But why is it that all the gunk that ended up there is now sitting in front of my driveway?
Good question.
I'm
Good
gonna
question.
I'm gonna make a friendly mention to him in the morning,
Yeah.
unless if I decide to talk really loud right now. But nah, it's just a small. It's like a thing. Like I'll put it to you like this: like if you're not paying attention and you like walk right into it, you just walked in the sludge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dang.
so it wasn't sludge that was here prior to them doing that job. So I'm happy that you were able to, do a phenomenal job on my neighbor's house. But why are you polluting my driveway? It's not the
Right.
driveway. You've been here before. You know how it like kind
Yeah.
of has that little divot going down.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it goes down to two neighbors down. I'm like, damn guys, y'all could have took a few minutes and pushed that shit into the street or something.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Basically. Yeah.
I'll make a friendly mention. My neighbor's a reasonable guy. I don't appreciate that kind of stupidity. What else? NFL free agency day one. Anything else coming off the page at you? Anything that you got cooking in your brain? Anything that you see? Okay, let me ask you this one. Where's the
Yeah.
veteran Kirk Cousins gonna go?
I don't know, because they're talking Kyler Murray to Minnesota. I say the Jets, man. That would be the only place I really see, because they need a bridge, and he would be the perfect bridge. Because Atlanta's not going to hold all three of those quarterbacks. But then again, they might, because Penix may not meet. He may not be back this year. And
Yeah,
with
yeah.
tongue, I got to call him what I call him, tongue over your vagina. With him, what is he gonna? Because you got to keep in mind that division, and the Saints ain't got a scrubby defense.
No,
Panthers
no.
ain't got a.
I'll be honest with you, Idris. It's way too early to forecast because nobody's drafted yet. But I
Yeah,
have just based off today, I feel like the Carolina Panthers should win the division a second consecutive year. But I
I
feel
think
like the New Orleans Saints right now are in a position to be the second best team in the division at minimum, fighting with the Panthers on some level because they did have a good year against the division. And I think Tampa's going backwards right now. I mean,
I think
it
they
might be an
are. I think,
overreaction. Mike Evans is not a spring chicken coming off an injury,
but I
but
think that was the main guy, dude. You took away Baker's main man. Dude.
yeah, and I mean, Igbuka could grow into that role. I mean, Chris Godwin could get injured like, having a meal. That guy's always hurt. But I
Yeah,
don't know, man. This is a weird one. This is definitely a weird one. I think Buffalo ahead of this, making the trade, DJ Moore, I think they're in a good position to reclaim the division quickly and get New England out of I think it's a it's obvious that it's a two-team race between New England and Buffalo because Miami is in big transition. Jalen Waddle, I'm not convinced that he's not going to get traded before the draft or on draft day. That's a possibility.
well, Miami picked up Malik Willis too.
Yes, that's one of the feel-good stories of day one. This is a kid coming out of Liberty that
Yeah,
definitely got overlooked in a
and he
big
said,
way.
yeah, he said Tennessee didn't give me a chance to prove myself.
No, and he's not
They did.
lying. They
They did.
they,
They did.
they gave
They
it to the
drafted.
yoga guy, Will Levis. That was a
Yeah,
disaster too.
that was a disaster. You know. Yeah.
Um, no, I think he filled in really admirably for Jordan Love, who has a propensity for missing a game here, a game there.
Yeah.
And in meaningful football games, showing up and doing enough for the Packers to show that he deserves a shot. I just hope that the Dolphins don't set him up for failure because they really, Reek is out of there. Uh,
Yeah.
they have a really good running back in Devin Achan. I just hope that Malik Willis at least has the opportunity to
Yeah.
prove what he's got because this is a guy that did it the hard way. This is a guy that's been proving people wrong, similar to a guy that is projected to go number one overall, Fernando Mendoza, based on team need. The Vegas
Mhm.
Raiders, strong possibility, or the
Mhm.
Vegas Raiders could really cash in, trade him, and get a litany of picks. So we're gonna see what happens with that. Shouts out Mr. Nast. They're not ignoring you, buddy. Just going on a tangent. creator
You know,
of the madness, Mr. Nash. Hello, fellas. Busy day in the yeah, big
hey
time,
man,
dude.
you know how he is. You know how he is, man. But yeah, I think with Malik Willis, and he's been quiet about stuff. You know, he did say like, look, Tennessee didn't give me a chance, man. You know, they drafted me, they bought this other guy, and they didn't give me a chance to prove myself. And then Buck and Green Bay, he looked damn good, dude. He looked good.
And
Poised
speaking
in
of
the
Green
pocket.
Bay,
Yeah,
Nash dropping some knowledge here. Yeah, it's true, Nash. Absolutely, Johnny. It's true because Dallas and Green Bay consecutive years making trades super rare. Mike Zappi said it off air. I spoke to him earlier today. He said that's the price of paying Micah Parsons what you pay him.
yep,
And there is some validity to that. I'll be honest with you. I know that you're an Eagle fan. Zappi's obviously a Cowboy. Idris and I love the Giants.
yeah.
Dallas got stronger today. I know that a lot of people were on Jerry's ass about not getting Max Crosby, but if the Dallas Cowboys could find a way to bring in Trey Hendrickson,
Oh
or if they
man,
can find a way to get a game wrecker in the draft that's an edge rusher, the Dallas
yeah.
Cowboys are not going to be in a bad way this year as
The only thing you have to do is
the
not.
window is getting closer to closing on Dak Prescott. This could keep it open a little longer.
Dude, their problem is this, and true Dallas fans will agree. They implode in the end. They implode, and I'm not trashing the Cowboys because you know I'm
Well,
the biggest.
personally, I'm not the biggest believer in Brian Schottenheimer. I had a high opinion of his father, and I'm not trying to talk ill of the dead. I
Yeah,
had a lot of respect for Marty, but
yeah,
Marty was another guy that just could not get over the hump.
couldn't get over time. And Dallas, and they say, and I'm the biggest Dallas hater. Everyone knows that. Stephen A. Smith ain't got shit on me because you will never see me wear a Cowboy jersey unless I lose a bet. You will never see me wear a Cowboy jersey. But I always say their problem is that intestinal fortitude. When it comes to the clutch time, they falter. That's the one thing Stephen A. Smith is right. They falter. If they
Well,
can play,
Johnny,
mhm,
no, go ahead. No, my bad, Idris. I'm
if
just thinking out
they
loud.
can,
Go ahead.
if they can finish and go into the playoffs and say, look, we are in the playoffs, but let's play like we played. It's like they get to the playoffs and then they just forget everything they did. They need to go into the playoffs and say, look, this is another game. Win this game,
Hmm.
just like we did in the regular season.
And
Let's
it's like
go.
anything else. You try to give him a little grace on the sense it's a new coach, it's a new
Yeah,
situation. I
yeah,
personally think Mike McCarthy's ability to do better in Dallas was hampered and
yeah.
hindered by Jerry Jones. Because I think I'm not saying Mike McCarthy's Vince Lombardi and shit or like
He
Tom
did
Landry,
it.
but he's a good coach.
Yeah, but you know, I trash Mike McCarthy. I do because he was a Dallas Cowboy. You know, so that's what I do. But I think he was a damn good coach. You fought three straight 12-5 seasons, dude.
And people lose sight of this, and you're the one who brought this to the light here on the show. You were the first one to say it on our show. You are our
Mhm,
quarterback guy.
mhm.
That you yourself said that he improved the ability of Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott to hang around longer because he took away some of the recklessness. Oh shit! The Pittsburgh
Yeah.
Steelers just signed Rico Dowdle, 2 year,
What?
2 years, 12.25 million.
Wow!
Chuba Hubbard always finds a way to stay in Carolina.
I thought Rico was the man there. I thought Rico was wow.
Well, nobody said he wasn't. Pittsburgh just came up and got him. Pittsburgh Steelers doing some
Wait,
work now. They're
they
improving.
stealing. The Steelers are stealing. Dude, you better
They're
watch out for
they're
them.
improving. They're improving that secondary. They're
You know what they
improving
do?
the wide receiver room.
You know what they're doing, Richie? They're going back to Steelers football. Smash
They're
mouth
gonna,
and throw.
dude. Rico Dowdle, beautiful.
Ooh.
Is it beautiful? Is that Dowdell or Dowdle?
It's Dowdell.
Okay.
We call him Dowdell here. You know, I got with the
Well,
Southern guy Dowdell.
well,
I think it's
if they whether it's Dowdle or Dowdell, this is a hell of a pickup for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That just came over my feed literally
I'm
2 seconds
surprised
ago.
because he's from the area. That's why I'm kind of surprised he's in Pittsburgh because he's from the area. I mean, you know, he's from South Carolina, but South Carolina, North Carolina, especially where he was right across the board.
I like what the Steelers are quietly doing here. You know, you're taking a little bit more pressure off of Aaron Rodgers because let's be real. I'm not making
Yeah,
excuses for the man. He has limited mobility at his older age, but he
but you
did
couldn't
not have receivers that he could count on last year.
have a
He did
dependent
not
running back.
have no. You know, Kenneth Gainwell did an admirable job, but he's
He
not an
did.
every down guy. Uh, man, man, this is
Wow. This is the
and
way the NFL. This is why the NFL is the best sport because even in the off season, this is the NFL's third season. Even in the off season, the NFL rules. Wow, that's wow.
this is I'm gonna hit on what Nash is saying here. Cowboys made some good moves today. Giants now going to be known as the New York Ravens. I respectfully disagree.
I disagree.
I said it
We're going,
before.
we're going
This
back to
this
Big
league
League.
is based on previous working relationships. The Giants upgraded punter, whether he's a Raven or wherever he played last year. They upgraded punter in a big way,
Yeah,
and they in a massive way they upgrade the tight end position. I'll say it like this: if Mark Andrews wasn't still hanging on by a thread, Isaiah Likely would still be a Baltimore Raven.
yeah, Baltimore
So
Ravens. Yeah,
so the Giants, in my opinion, very fortuitous to get a guy like Likely, who I think from a production-based standpoint is going to be their best tight end since
no,
Jeremy Shockey.
right, because he can block, he can run the seams, he can run the fly, and he's athletic.
In terms of recency, he'll be the most productive since Evan Ingram because people forget Evan Ingram really had an awesome rookie year.
He did.
But
He did.
that also helped because Saquon was there. But well, actually, wait a minute. 17, no, bullshit. Darkwa was still there.
Yeah, look at that dog. All these dark one, the dark man, as I call him.
Yeah, he never came back. After the Giants. I never heard from him again. Same thing with Wayne Gallman.
But I was
Wayne
gonna say Wayne
Gallman.
Gallman. Well, he
Wayne
Wayne
Gallman.
Gallman went to Philly. I mean, he went to Frisco for 1
Yes,
year,
and then he just
and
fell
he
off the
moved to
earth.
Tampa Bay, and he just disappeared.
Just fell off the earth. It happens, man. NFL,
Yeah.
not for long.
Wow, Rico Dowdell, man. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, big
Mike
time.
McCarthy ain't playing, dude.
No, he's not. As far Johnny, as far as the Eagles go, when you win the division consecutive years, and you're the most recent to win a Super Bowl, actually the most recent to win two before anybody else in our division sniffing the Super Bowl. I will say that you have a confidence in that organization, and Howie Roseman is among the absolute best in the league of making it work.
Boss.
I wanted to ask you this. Daniel Nunez, friend of the show, big Eagles fan in his own right, suggested that you guys are going to go Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end. What do you think? Obviously, Dallas Goedert, no longer going to be an Eagle. Also, non-Eagle related, but we did speak about it earlier. We believe that L'Jarius Sneed may be let go by the Tennessee Titans. They did pick up Cordell Flatt, recent former Giant now. Does Sneed go back to KC? Is Sneed on the Giants' radar? They need some corner help. Where does Sneed go if he does indeed get released? Just kind of pitching a question out to you, Johnny, and anybody else that's going to be watching the show. We're going to be breaking this down into some shorts as well. Idris, this was a fun show, man.
Dude, you hit me in the morning with a surprise. You just hit me in the evening with a surprise. Like, golly.
I did this show in Jennifer's car because I dropped Noah off to spend some time with his grandparents. And, I drive a big old truck. And with these ridiculous gas prices, I'm like, yo, I'm taking the little sardine can out.
Exactly. Dude, you see what I drive. I got me a little Nissan Rogue.
Yeah, I got me a Titan. I got a Titan. I love my truck, but my truck is rough on gas. Get it together, guys.
I like your
These
truck,
gas
though.
prices are unbearable.
I like your truck too, man, for real. Well, I mean, when I first came to your house, I like, man, he got a freaking truck up in here. I'm like, all
right. First time homeowner. I'm like, let's go, let's get a truck.
Yeah, I mean, no, I was like, I was impressed. I'm like, man, this is a big boy. He ain't no little boy.
Spoken like a true father figure. Idris could be whatever you want him to be. He could be your uncle. He could be your big brother. He could be your father. But I'll tell you what else he could be. He could be Big Bosco from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Big Bosco Productions. Check out Grown Man Energy Volumes 1 and 2, guys.
Oh man.
Did I say Grown Man Energy?
Yeah, he said, girl.
No, I see. I fucked that. I fucked that up because you over here saying, "Oh, Richie, you're a big boy," and then I'm like, "Grown Man Energy."
I know.
Old
My
Man
bad.
Energy. I knew
I
that.
let,
It's in rotation.
I led you in the dark, man. My bad.
Nah, that's my bad. That's actually my bad. Old Man Energy Volumes 1 and 2 on all streaming services. Check it out.
In a
Also, check
few
out our
months,
good friends.
I would say in a few months, it'll be where you can just download it directly from me.
Very good. I love it. I love it. Independent mind, independent artist. Idris is hip hop. Idris is a product of the boom bap era of hip hop.
I love it.
Jazzmatical, also a phenomenal album. Check it out, guys. I ain't saying it because he's my brother. I'm saying it because it's the goddamn truth.
Number 2 will be out next month.
And I gotta say this. Who was the female artist that who is that, Idris? She is very talented.
Oh, Kamiko?
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
That girl could spit.
let me tell you about that girl. When she hit me up, she said, "Do you produce people?" I said, "I really don't. I'm just putting my own thing." And
Hmm.
she's like, "I got some stuff, but nobody wants to work with me." I was like, "Why?" She said, "Well, I'm kind of dirty." I was like, "For real?" She said, "Yeah, I'm kind of dirty." But she was saying how, she likes the old school stuff. And I was like,
Hmm.
all right, so she sent me a track. Well, just a vocal. She's like, "Can you send me a beat?" And I gave her a beat. I was like, "Oh shit." I said, "Yo, you want to do something together?" She's like, "Bet." So she has black, half Japanese. Kamiko Shimizu,
Yeah, with a
Kamikaze.
name like that, I wouldn't expect a different combination, to be honest,
I
just with the few
Her name.
times that I have
She's
noticed that
dropped the
name.
name Jade though. She's dropped the name Jade from the East because somebody else said that. She said she didn't really want to be cliche, so she just goes,
Okay, so this is the same girl. That was
yeah,
my confusion. Bro,
yeah.
this
So now
girl,
she goes,
this girl could spit, but the thing I loved about Old
mhm.
Man Energy Volume 1 is
Oh, she's
that
not on
coming,
Old Man Energy. That's not her on Old Man Energy.
that's not her.
Nah. She's going.
So
She
so
she got her own shit. Oh, nah. That's some
okay, because I was listening to a different track from her. That's where the confusion went. But I will
Yeah.
say this. Old Man Energy Volume 1, bro, the lyricism on this takes me to a time and place where I fell in love with hip hop. Because coming from New York, it's very much a big deal. And Nast understands this too,
Yeah.
you know, coming from his area. The Northeast in general takes
Hmm.
lyricism very, very serious.
And
And
that's why when people get mad about New York and Philly, because see, I mean, I'm gonna say we as us in hip hop, they took that. Excuse me. Oh, I mean some things just my throat's dry. They took lyricism seriously because we were teaching, so we cared about what we said, our vernacular, and everything like that, and that's why we didn't want nobody else to have it, because we was afraid of coming to what it is right now.
if
I,
vernacular ain't a grown folks hip hop word, I don't know what is.
right? Yeah, that's true. Oh, the chick that was rapping, she's British. She don't sound it, but if you speak to her, she's
Are
British.
you shitting me?
Nah, she's British. The
Oh
song,
wow.
I think, listen to Aggression. You'll hear her accent just a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
But once she gets, I think it's Aggression. But once she gets going, you can't take her out of it. Because you take her
Well,
out
it's
of it.
kind of like the fella. It's kind of like the fella from All American, the popular Netflix
Oh,
series, the football
yeah,
drama. The kid
yeah,
who plays a character inspired by former New York Giants Super Bowl champion Spencer
mhm,
Pasinger, who's the executive producer of the show. It concentrates on a lot of the football. The character's name Spencer James, phenomenal actor, phenomenal young man. But
yeah.
I come to find out that he's from the UK. So
Right.
when he was joking with some of the cast in one of the episodes, I'm still adjusting because I don't want to ruin it for people, but I'm just gonna say Tay
We need to
Diggs
do a
was
movie
really
show, dude. We need to do a movie
Tay
show.
Tay Diggs
Yeah.
was really big on this, and I don't want to ruin it for those who might be interested in watching it
Just tell
because
them
it
anyway.
resonates. It resonates with the young people. It resonates like with teenagers, but it also
Yeah.
resonates with other folks who um just love football. So it kind of resonates with a lot of people, a lot of different places. It also resonates with people who have been through the beautiful struggle called life,
You know,
because there's a lot of life teachings in this. Noah loves the show. Jennifer, of all people, loves the show, which really shocked me.
you know who surprised me with their accent? Did you see Gridlock, Tupac, and Tim Roth when they were
Oh, hell of a
when
movie.
when cause Tim Roth played that role, but when I seen the editor's cut when they was talking about the movie and talk about how they big up because it came out Tupac had already passed away. When he spoke, I said that dude's from the UK.
Yeah, pretty mind blowing because that's part of being a phenomenal actor is that you can
But even
actually
Idris Elba, when you
curb
watch,
your national accent, which is actually not the easiest thing to do. That's
like
why
Idris,
certain
Idris
people are made
Elba,
for the silver screen.
Idris Elba did the freaking Wire. Sound like he is from New York the whole movie. The whole movie. I mean, the whole TV series. Seen him on
Yeah, that's
TV. Hey,
crazy.
man. And he said, no, my man, what's the movie Mark for Death with Steven Seagal? The
Yes,
guy with
yes,
the
yes,
Jamaican, the Jamaican,
yes,
the
yes.
guy that played the Jamaican cop. He's not Jamaican, but he wanted because he came into the interview speaking that way, and they thought he was
Hmm.
with Jamaican. He said, I saw the interview so on YouTube. He said, he said him and Steven Seagal do not speak, and the guy said why. He said after the show, after the movie, he talked to Steven Seagal in his regular, English, English, well, American English, accent. And Steven Seagal got mad because he wasn't really Jamaican, never spoke to him ever again.
Yeah, but Steven Seagal for
He's
what
a,
he portrayed
he's a,
for so
he's
many,
a,
he's
that,
soft as shit.
what's his name knocked his, Michael J. White choked his ass out, had him shitting on himself on the script of, the set of, Exit Wounds. I don't know if
And,
you
and
heard
I,
about
yeah, I did. I didn't know it was Michael J. White, but I did
it.
hear about it. No, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna front. Like when I was a kid in the '90s, like my mom and my sister were busting jokes on Eddie. He's like, "Damn, man, my dad did take me to none of that girl shit. He took me to see fucking Seagal movies." But
I used to like Seagal in the 90s. Everybody did.
no, the '90s it was different energy. Like the '90s, you
Yeah,
had Van Damme, you had Seagal. You
yeah.
take it back to the '80s, shouts out Bill Duke. We're talking about Predator. We're talking about those kind of films. Arnold.
This, this Green Ray gonna whoop your ass, kick your big
Yeah,
ass.
our guy, Brett, that's like the perfect day for him. Yard work, drinking about 18 beers, and falling asleep with half a hoagie
More
in
like
his
30.
hand watching an 80s movie.
More like 30 in
Brett
his hand. More like
Brett
30
is
beers.
like Brett is like the equivalent personality wise of like Johnny Lawrence in Cobra Kai.
No up, man. No, no.
But except
I mean,
Brett's a little more
yeah,
financially secure than the Johnny Lawrence
yeah,
character in
yeah.
Cobra Kai. But
It's another guy gonna say the same thing, but Brett's more for like Boomhauer in the King of the Hill. when I first when I when I first seen Brett, we brought me on the show. He came on the show. I like, dude, man, I'm a Boomhauer. But when I met Brett, I like, this is not the guy. This is not the guy on the damn podcast. Cause he looked totally different. But then when I came down there, when I came down the last time and met him again, and we had the draft, I was like, yeah, that's the Brett.
oh,
That's the
one
same
thing
dude.
that you and Brett have in common that's interesting
What's
is
that?
that if we're talking about in the Sweet Science, Brett is also a lefty.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
I'm taking it back to much simpler times, much stupider times. Brett and
Yeah,
I, let's just keep it a buck. We were both wrecked. We were playing around.
don't surprise me.
Like trying to box.
Yeah. Oh.
Bro, Brett was frustrating me because like I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I didn't realize I mean I know he shot lefty, but I know like he like if it was a hypothetical fight that he would like lead with his left, I was like, oh hell no. I was frustrated, bro.
Dang. That you can see my mother, she did me early, had me, so I really don't even know what hand I'm really do. I mean I write better in my right with my right hand, but everything else I do like I drink with my left hand. I drive my car with my left hand. I do
That's
everything with
why
my
I
left
hope you eventually end up in Florida because you could you could teach some of the best tricks to Noah because Noah was picking up quick when you were like kind of
Oh yeah.
speeding him on some of the basics of boxing because they got a pretty good they got a pretty good boxing gym out here where I wanted to take Noah just for the sheer fact of not that I'm trying to like build him into some kind of fighter, but just more for like the athleticism
Hey
aspect
Charles,
of it, the discipline aspect of it.
hey Richie, does this sound like we're talking on the telephone or we on the are we doing a podcast? We sound like we're talking on the telephone, dude.
Hey, we already accomplished what we came here to do, and we spit it for the
Cause I
NFL free
dude,
agency.
I'm walking around the house with my my headset on and I'm cleaning up and I'm like, are we on a podcast or are we talking on the
Bro,
phone?
bro, I am not tripping, man. This is my element. This is my domain. I am not tripping, but I do want to
Cool.
read some of these comments before we get out of here. I do want to read some of these comments. Also, check out our friends at the Sports Corner, Johnny
Sir.
Nast, as well as Joe Gallagher, two
Yeah.
of the best Eagle fans you will ever run into. And like I redundantly always say, it's a short list.
Now
Going back
now
to the Steelers really quick, you add Dowdell and Pittman, you go with Jalen Warren, DK. Who's going to be your quarterback? Does Rodgers go? Yeah, it's this is a good question, Johnny. I think you just missed it when
yeah.
before you jumped in. I suggested to Idris that it could be better for Kyler Murray's career, even if he's a backup quarterback for a year because
Yeah.
similar to what they did with Fields and Wilson, some
Mhm.
sub packages where you bring in Kyler Murray because Rodgers has no wheels. I personally would bring in Murray, healthy competition. It's McCarthy's team. Rodgers will be probably handed the
Yeah.
job in the beginning.
Yeah.
Murray could gain invaluable experience from dealing with a professional like Rodgers. I think Rodgers at the stage of his career would be willing to teach, not to mention that the Steelers, who are tied for the most Lombardi wins,
Yeah.
um, is a quality organization to be a part of. Whereas you're taking a bigger chance, in my opinion, coming off a fragile part of his career, where
Mhm.
the Arizona Cardinals, the team that drafted him, gave up on him. So if I'm Kyler Murray and Kyler Murray's people, even if Aaron Rodgers gets the gig for one more season, and I imagine it has to be his final season because he is a dinosaur, it would
Yeah.
be interesting to see if Kyler Murray joins the Steelers as well for the bigger picture, because this is not a very strong quarterback class. After Mendoza, there's a significant fall off.
Yeah.
So that's a good question, Johnny. And it's something that I myself suggested to our friend Brett. Brett was like, oh, no, he's not going there. They got Rodgers. I'm like, slow down, little guy.
Right.
Um, but we'll see. This is a really exciting time of the year where you have like so many possibilities. Kenny Pickett, another
Oh,
former Steeler, former Eagle as well, going to
yeah.
Carolina, good mentorship. Yeah, I tend to agree. The one
That
knock I
might help
have,
him. That might help him. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh. I thought we lost the time. That might help him though. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But I think the one thing you said, I mean, nail it is the Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers thing, dude. I think that's I think that would good. But hey, look, because be
and
like,
time will reveal itself. But I do want to mention that a better opportunity for Murray in the
mm,
event, in the event that he comes in on some competitive nature with the guy who's already there, JJ McCarthy. I think it makes sense. I think Kirk Cousins makes sense in Minnesota. That's nothing that we haven't shared already. But Kirk wants to be a starter. I don't think he wants to go with the BS of I got to wait. I think it's a no-brainer. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is all that, but JJ
mm,
McCarthy has not shown me enough that he deserves
he
to
hasn't.
be the
Sit him.
absolute starter.
Something? Look what it did for Young in Carolina. he even said, Bryce Young said himself, he said, when he got sacked and Dalton went in there, I literally thought, like, hey, look, this is for real. And he
That's a
said
good
he
point.
needed that.
That's a good
Yeah,
point. And were it not for that unfortunate car accident that Andy Dalton got into, Bryce might have not even got the opportunity again.
he might have got the opportunity. And see, Bryce said that. He said it made him sit down and think. He said it made him watch the game. He said, yeah, in preseason, he said, but I got a chance to watch the game and see how the game moved. He said that's what changed him. Because he said it can happen again. I got to catch up to the game. And he's ever since then, Bryce Young's been balling out, man. He's been balling out.
Well, sometimes you need that proverbial threat or that proverbial slap in the face to get
Yeah,
it back. I mean, it's
exactly.
baptism under fire in certain ways. It's, oh shit, the seat's getting hot. You know, athletes forever and a day need
Hmm.
certain things to motivate them. And not every athlete is geared the same way. Because you look at a guy like a Joe Torre, former Yankee manager, like one of the best things that I can say about him is that
Hmm.
he knew that a guy like Jeter you could hold to a standard where
Yeah,
you can get in his ass if you need to. But you look at
right.
a guy like a Bernie Williams, maybe a little more of the understanding long game.
Yeah,
A guy like David
right.
Wells, let's just keep it a buck. He didn't like David Wells. But
Yeah, I don't think anybody like this.
I liked him, but I mean,
I'm talking
I
about,
mean, yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, as
hell,
a
if
fan.
I could drink an 18 pack and throw a perfect game, I mean, why
Oh,
wouldn't I root for the
perfect
guy? You
game,
know what I'm
right?
saying?
In a sunny Yankee Stadium, sunny day. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, why not? Lose
Let's do
about
it.
35 pounds of water weight on the Bronx Hill. I mean, things.
Right. It
Oh,
was hot that day. It was
yes, it
hot. I remember
was.
that.
Yeah, I actually went to his next start, a game where he was flirting with another perfect game until it was
Yeah,
broken up. It was
yeah,
broken up against the Oakland Athletics.
I was at Coney Island. And it's like, hey, David Will just picked up. I was like, what? Yeah,
And,
David
and-
Will just picked a perfect game.
and you know what's crazy about the game I went to right after that when they played Oakland?
Yeah,
The perfect game, if my memory serves me right, was broken up by none other than a young Jason Giambi.
I didn't know that.
I would have to relook it up because I mean, not for nothing, this is
Yeah,
almost 20 years ago.
yeah,
I attended the game with my uncle Mario, excuse me, my cousin Mario, because Mario Jr. Because back in that era when I worked at a country club in Hewlett Harbor, New York, Seawayn, I used to always inherit a lot of really good Yankee tickets.
oh,
I
word.
actually have tickets from September 10th,
Hmm.
2001, before the world changed forever. Those
Oh,
are in my podcast room inside the picture
I
of the
see it.
27 New
Yeah, yeah.
York Yankees. I think you might have laid eyes on them when you hung.
I did more than lay out, man. I started to take it down and just lay it out with it, dude. Yeah, that was iconic, dude.
Yeah, the Yankee room definitely has some character, no question about it.
It's a little museum, dude. It's a little museum for real. A
Yeah,
one
and
room.
some of it's stuff that I collected over the years. Like I'll give you an example. The Subway Series one, I'm not gonna lie. I yanked that right off the subway.
Yeah, you're
Um,
supposed to. That's a New York thing.
yeah, man. That's a transit police thing if I wasn't slick with it.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, you're right about that.
transit
Hey,
cops
hey,
don't play, bro.
right? Nah, hell no.
Transit cops don't play. But no, my late Aunt Debbie, who was a diehard New York Yankee fan, I inherited a lot from her. My
Yeah,
cousin DJ, who left way, way untimely, meant a lot to me when his sister-in-law sent me a
yeah.
lot of his Yankee collective stuff. The DJ was just like one of my favorite cousins. Just a great dude, man. And like it keeps family alive too when I keep this stuff. Like my old
Oh
man, since I was a
yeah,
little boy, bro, my old man, every place he ever lived, every house he ever had, he
yeah,
always had that Thurman Munson picture in every bedroom he ever had. That one
man,
Thurman picture, that my
yeah.
old man, oh, that was his dude. That was my old
You know
man's
what?
guy.
I need to get that made in an 8x11 and put it hung on my wall for real, for real.
Nah,
I
man.
need to.
Another cool one, just random. We talking some shit. Derek
Yeah,
Jeter, when he was on a rehab assignment,
yeah,
you saw the Staten Island Yankee hat that I got?
yeah.
I got Jeter's autograph on the brim when he was doing a rehab assignment with them.
I didn't even see that, dude.
Yogi Berra signed baseball. That's one of my prized ones. And
Yeah,
Don Mattingly, his autographs aren't like in the same expensive realm as like other guys that made the Hall. There's reasons why, but Don Mattingly, for me, sentimental reasons, that's my favorite ball player of all time. So
yeah, but
I've got a
Johnny
couple
B.
of Mattingly autographs. I got one with him and Strawberry from the '87 All-Star game. Strawberry, of course, at that time was still a New York Met. Dope ass. And people forget they were teammates with the Yankees late in Mattingly's
They,
career in '95.
yep,
That
yep.
was wild to see Don Mattingly and Darryl Strawberry both wearing Yankee uniforms. That was a good year. And for the baseball heads, if you
Yeah.
want to see a really cool baseball doc, check out Donnie Baseball. They released it in 2022. I will say this: takeaways, class act through and through, man of principle through and through. But I will
Oh
say
yeah.
this: if Don Mattingly would have just hung out a couple of years, we all know that he would have got a ring. Of course, it goes without saying, but at least one, 96, which would have been the
Yeah.
capper of his career. But if let's say hypothetically, if he hung until say 98,
Oh.
he would have been the captain for the most prolific dynasty
Mm-hmm.
um, of a good better part of 25 years or so. Because what the Dodgers are trying to do right now is what that
Yeah.
Yankee team ended the 90s and started the 2000s with, a three-peat.
Yeah.
It's been that
Yep.
long since a Major League Baseball team has achieved a three-peat. The Yankees almost did a four-peat.
It
They
was the
lost to
fourth. Yeah.
Arizona.
Yep.
And
Yep.
although they lost that World Series, I will admit that it was the most exciting World Series up until what I just saw with Toronto and the Dodgers. That was a phenomenal series as well. Baseball round the corner.
Yep.
Check out Old Man Energy Volumes 1 and 2. Check out our guys, Sports Corner, Mr. Nast, Joe Gal, and
Mhm.
we're getting it, man. We're getting it.
Yep. Stay tuned for the shorts. They will be out over the next 24 hours.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. For Idris, I am Richie. If you haven't already, please make it a point, like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. We will be back soon. Announcements to come for our next show. Strong possibility that we're going to be diving in a little deeper on the World Baseball Classic. And final thought. Can't forget about this. 40 minutes left in the day. Almost 30 years ago today, we lost the legendary Christopher Wallace, aka the Notorious B.I.G.
Papa.
Tragic loss. Something that should have never happened. And we talked about this recently on the hip hop show. You can talk about the greatest MCs, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. And no, I don't think Biggie is greater than Rakim or Nas or guys with bigger catalogs. But one thing I will say that is undeniable: the Notorious B.I.G. brought back New York hip hop and took it to a place that will forever be ingrained in the memories of any and all kids that were 90s kids. Ready to Die, a certified classic, second solo artist to put out a double CD. Of course, his friend turned foe, Tupac Shakur, did it a little earlier with All Eyes on Me. Ultimately, Ready to Die was able to exceed the numbers of All Eyes on Me. I'm sure they've gone back and forth over the years as both of these guys have strong followings. But just a really tragic loss. History and hindsight is always going to be 2020. But all I could say is that I wish Chris would have got on that flight to go to London. I think we'd still have him today. Unfortunately, it didn't go that way. But the bottom line was that in 2 years, in a matter of 1 year, basically, Tupac Shakur, Christopher Wallace, both taken far too early over a senseless coastal beef. And the bottom line is hip hop has never been the same since those two tragedies. So rest in peace to both of them. Shouts out to both of their mothers who are no longer with us as well. Two very strong women that fought to the end to preserve the memory and to seek justice for their children. God bless Afeni Shakur as well as Miss Valletta Wallace.
Yes, sir.
And on that note, have a great night, everyone. announcements to come for our next show. We are out.
But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.